A very good evening and welcome to Police Park here in ThePapare as we await a much wanted game between Havelocks and Police. Police, of course, at home, and they're pretty good here at home. Havelocks have to make the short trip from Havelock Town just across ThePapare to this ground here, and it is pretty much a hometown derby as well that we are looking at. Havelocks and Police 3 and 4 in the league, Abdullah, but that will all change today. Let's wait and see how things end up, because CRNFC have pretty much consolidated second place after a thumping win yesterday against the Air Force. But these two clubs have really shone this season for different reasons. Police were not expected to do as well as they did, came up to second place at one point in the league, and Havelocks, after leaking a lot of experienced players at the start of the season, nobody expected them to be up and challenging for the title as well. But that's exactly what they have done. They've dropped to third place, but will be looking to climb their way back up. Just a couple of points between them at the start of this weekend's game between them and the second place team. This is the Havelocks team warming up. The Police team are warming up just in front of our commentary position as well. And joining me in the commentary box, Abdullah Yusuf. Abdullah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Shanaka. Yes, both these teams did really well in that first round, you'd have to say. They definitely played above themselves. No one expected them to be in that top four. As the reasons, as you mentioned, especially Havelock Sports Club after losing a lot of players during the off-season. And of course, Police also not expected to perform as well as they did. So it's fair to say that both these teams have performed above themselves in that first round. But also these two teams come into this game after a loss. Police going down rather unexpectedly to Navy in last week's game, and of course Havelocks losing out to Surya. So there's no doubt that both these teams will want to correct that today.
Looking at the weather card, it's a max of 30 Celsius today, and that's pretty hot, I can tell you. We're out here in the open, and it is baking down at Police Park. You're not going to get a scrap of shade there out on the field for sure, because the stadium doesn't allow for it. But that is exactly what the players are going to have to deal with. 12 kilometers per hour wind speed, that's not going to be a problem, but the partly cloudy means that the humidity factor is up there, Abdullah, and that means these players will get exhausted fast. We might see a lot of scoring in the latter quarter of this game.
Yeah, that's right. It's the humidity factor. I think that's what really takes its toll on the players, especially when it's a 4:15 start. So it'll be interesting to see also how both coaches manage their benches. That could always prove a critical factor. And as you said, there's a good chance that the game could open out in that last quarter. So probably the team that has a stronger bench could very well hold an edge in the final outcome of this game.
Surprising losses last week for both these teams, as Abdullah was saying. Havelocks going down to CRNFC. An unexpected win for CR after Havelocks had performed so convincingly in the first leg of the Matthews Trophy. But credit to the Red Shirts who came back and wrested the first round lead away from Havelocks. And what do you think that was, Abdullah? Just a little bit of a mental fade. Thought they might have taken it a little too easy after beating the same opposition, or was it just the fact that CRNFC played much better on the day?
Well, it was virtually a game of two halves, really. That first 30 minutes, Havelocks were just dominating CR. They were pitched in the CR 22 for most of that time. But what happened was they couldn't convert it into points, and eventually that just told on Havelock's efforts in the final part of the game. And then, of course, CRNFC pretty much ran away with the game.
Well, the teams are warming up, so are we here on ThePapare.com. And don't forget, we will be bringing you this game live and exclusively in just a few moments after the break.
අලු සීටිකක් දැම්මන නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
සර්, සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
Ceylon personal loan කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with the heart.
අලු සීටිකක් දැම්මන නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්නම්.
සර් සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්නම්. දෙකෙන් දෙන්නම්. දෙකෙන්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with the heart.
අලු සීටිකක් දැම්මන නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්නම්.
සර් සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්නම්. දෙකෙන් දෙන්නම්. දෙකෙන්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with the heart.
Unanimous decision. You are
Welcome back to ThePapare.com. We're live from Police Park here in Colombo 5 as we eagerly await this Dialog Rugby League game between Police and Havelocks. Numbers 3 and 4 in the league, but one of these teams could climb up to number 2 if they play well and of course get a bonus point. That's something that they will be aiming to do to try and keep the pressure on CRNFC, who with a big win yesterday have climbed back to a number 2 in the table, a spot that Police held for a short while this season and a spot that Havelocks have held this season as well. So all of them will be willing themselves to try and get over the line. I think Candy is a foregone conclusion, Abdullah. The way they have played in this first and second round have been pretty impressive. Look at them there at number 3, 45 points to 15, getting a bonus point against CHNFC. And the other results from last week, CRNFC beating Havelocks 30 points to 17. That was a surprise win for CR. Army SC against Air Force 28 points to 13. As I said, Candy romping home against CH, and Police going down to Navy 44-24, conceding 6 tries. That would really have put the cat among the pigeons here at Police, and they'll need to bounce back here at home.
Yeah, that's right, and especially losing at their home ground. I don't think that would have pleased their coach Asango Rodrigo in the end. So I'm sure they will want to put in a much better performance today, but it's not going to be easy. Even Havelocks have been stung by a defeat by CRNFC last week, so they will also definitely want to get back to winning ways in this game. So it'll be an interesting contest to see who will be able to come up trumps at the end of the final whistle.
Yes, it's going to be an interesting one. How do teams respond after a loss? That's what we're going to find out today. Of course, Police SC have the added flavor of Emosi Vunivosa in their squad as well. He'll be looking to drag them up. And as you look at that scorecard, you see the updated scorecard. Well, it's not updated because these teams are still to play. Some teams are still to play this weekend. So we still have that 2-point gap. CRNFC have gone a little higher with their win yesterday. They've gone up to 44 points. But Police will be able to go up to 42 if they win today, and Havelocks will be able to go up to 40 if they win handsomely today as well. So there's plenty to play for between 2, 3 and 4. Forget about Candy, who are way out ahead, and they've deserved exactly every one of those 52 points that they've scored. But these two teams, Abdullah, have really made the league interesting.
Yes, they definitely have. Along the way, they have caused a few upsets and pushed some of the more fancy teams to the brink in that first round as well. So it'll also be important for both these teams to try and get a win, just to give them that cushion to try and get into that super round. The top 4 get into that super round. So just to ensure that they have a fair gap between Army and Navy. Now Navy seems to have hit a bit of form as well, so it's important for both these teams to try and get a win today, to just give them that little bit of breathing space and make it to that top 4.
Certainly will be interesting. The top 4 will probably remain this way, although Navy and Army will be trying to do their best, but there's a big gap between number 4 and number 5, and very little between numbers 2, 3 and 4. But looking at the first round game between these sides, we'll come to the highlights of that in just a few moments, but a surprising loss to Havelocks against Police at Havelock Park as well. Nobody really expected that.
Yes, no one foresaw that coming, and I think that was their only loss other than to Kandy at home. So that will be really, no doubt, have an impact on this Havelocks team, and they'll definitely want to put that right.
Looking at the top try scorers and point scorers now, and top try scorer Janinder Dilshan got a couple yesterday as well. He started off the day on 10 tries, ended up with 12, and we'd been talking about him and how he was playing off kick chasers and how he was scoring off interceptions, but yesterday he scored on the end of some excellent three-quarter moves from CRNFC, and he seems to be finding some joy on the wing.
Yeah, that's right. Playing out of his customary outside centre role, he's been shifted to the wing in favour of young Zubair, who has come into that number 12 position, and he seems to be thriving on the position that he's getting. So far that move seems to be working out well. It'll be interesting to see as the tournament goes on whether he'll continue to be on the wing, or whether he'll be able to come into that centre position and have a bit more of an impact in Sia's attacking play.
For me, Abdullah, it seems maybe a season away for him to really come into that 13th position. We'll talk about that a little later, but Tarinder Ratwata will want to get a few more points tomorrow as well when he runs out for Kandy Sports Club, but he's way out ahead on 78, and most of those kicks have been 2-pointers, Abdullah, because Kandy haven't been kicking a lot of penalties this season so far, and most of those 2-pointer kicks that he's converted several tries for Kandy already. So 78 points, he's our top scorer, and if Kandy had been kicking 3-pointers, I dare say he'd be close to 90 points already.
Yeah, that's right. He's been very steady influence for Kandy. He's combined extremely well with skipper Nigel Ratwata and formed a very strong 10-12 axis, and that's played a big part in Kandy's dominance this season.
Certainly have two excellent players, and looks like Fazil Maraja relying on Eddie Jones's tactic of having two players who can kick at 10 and 12. Here's the other match today, live from Valisara. We'll have Army taking on Kandy, and that's going to be an important match as well. I'm sorry, Tarinder Ratwata will run out today for Kandy against Army in Valisara. Kandy don't love that venue, but I think Army might just be one step too far in terms of Kandy's dominance. I don't think they have what it takes to beat Kandy today.
Yeah, that's right. I think Kandy prefer not to play a Navy there at Valisara. They don't mind, I guess, playing any other opposition. But they have been playing with so much confidence this season. They have lost a couple of key players in Danushka Ranjan as well as Thilin Veerasinghe, but they have managed to overcome those losses, and they have combined extremely well to be ahead of most of the teams in this league thus far.
Yes, it looks very much like it's going to be an interesting game today as Police keep doing their warm-ups. It's a hot, humid day, and I've never understood coaches and trainers, Abdullah, who make their teams warm up for as long as this. Players have been out. It's almost like they're playing an extra game of extra half of rugby as we go back to the first game between these two sides. Emosi Vunivosa going under the posts by himself. That was at Havelock Park. He's playing today, but he's heavily strapped. Adela doesn't look the same figure he cut in that first game. That might be a factor today.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be interesting to see what kind of form he'll be as the game goes on. But just his presence alone, I have very little doubt will have an impact on the psychology of this Police team. As you can see in the highlights, the impact he has had on both those tries, scoring one and creating another, definitely went a long way in helping Police win that first round game.
26 points to 3 it was at half-time, a convincing lead for Police, but then Havelocks began to claw their way back into the game, and this was pretty much the try that sealed the match. Good work done by the Police forwards and finished off. And Havelocks didn't seem to be in the best conditioning form at that point in the season, but they've certainly got better.
Yeah, that's right. But at the same time, they'll really rue dropping this game against Police, because if they had won that game, then they'll be lying in second place and within touching distance of Kandy Sports Club, having lost just that one game at the end of the first round. But having lost that game and then dropping another game to CR last week has made their chances of just trying and winning the league title that much more difficult.
Well, Coach Martis would have told his players just there in that huddle that the first round is history, and so is last week. All that remains is the next match coming up, as we see Havelocks going back into their changing room to change their jerseys in this formation almost that has become kind of familiar to us. Lots of teams employed across the world and here in Sri Lanka in the clubs and schools as well. All going in as one, joining themselves at the shoulders. Mithun Hapukoda will lead the Havelocks players out. Police still have a little bit more work to do. And they've been actually warming up in the shade, so that's one of the advantages of being here at home. So they've been warming up in the shade, which is why they're still out there. Havelocks probably couldn't wait to get back in because the sun is pretty hot, and the crowd here gathered at the Police Park Pavilion, a wonderful place to watch rugby from. Gives you a good view wherever you're seated. And Ransilu Jayatilaka just taking his charges to the final warm-ups, and now he's called time on that as well. And we will be heading into the final huddle for Police before they march in to their changing room to come rushing out. The top brass of the Police, Senior DIG Latif, out there in front, celebrated his birthday last week. And with it his retirement as well, I believe. So that's why he's not decked out in his uniform. What a career it has been for him, and I'm sure Police will want to send him off on a high.
Yes, he's been actively involved with Police Rugby during his time with the Police, and he's definitely contributed a lot towards Police Rugby as well.
Here they are as we speak of them, and Hashan Fernando, Rasit Silva, Dhanushka Eduru Surya, big front row, Lahiru Pavitra missing from the starting lineup. Mohan Vimalaratne and Nisal Samadhi will be the line-out duo with Udara Surya Peruma, Vagisha Veerasinghe and Kavinda Jayasundara forming the third row. So watch out for the pace of Veerasinghe in the flanker position. Primesh Dhanushka teams up with Yohan Pyrrhus. Shah Nakila is on one wing. Emosi Vunivosa, he's a player to watch today if he can stay fit and last the game. Hiroshan Silva will be looking to run off him, as will Sachit Silva, and Suranga Kasun is at number 15.
That's right. The two Silva brothers played a big role in Police's success this year, and I'm sure with the Emosi Univosa coming to the lineup as well, that'll give them so much more confidence.
This is the team that Havelocks will put out on the park today. Zayan Sabah, Azmir Fajrin and Faiz Abdullah have been a steady front row this season, but perhaps Zayan Sabah coming in off the bench and starting today will be an interesting move for Coach Martis. Ganidul Lakshan and Umesh Madhushan are your two locks. Shaukat Lahir has been excellent this season, joined by Senal Dilaka at number 6, and Dayan Sabah continues to start in the absence of Lasindu Ishan Karunathilaka. Vimukti Rahula is at number 9, pairing off with Sandesh Javikrama. Keshan Kavinda on the left wing. Thikshana Dasanayaka, Iranga Aryapala, Navin Henakan Kanamge has become a regular starter in the last couple of weeks, and Santush Algama makes a rare start at the fullback position as well. So that's not a position he's used to playing very much, the former Josephian fly half. So that's going to be an interesting factor. Also, will Asanga Rodrigo notice that and ask his team to kick to Santosh Algama and put him under a lot of pressure?
Yeah, that's right. And also a couple of interesting changes there. They've decided once again to bring skipper Mithun Hapukoda from the bench. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. And also Randy Silva drops to the bench as well. He's been a regular starter for Havelocks during most of their games this season. So a lot of tactical substitutions. Coach Martis likes to play around with the team, and he'll be definitely looking for his bench to have an impact.
I think Thikshana Dasanayak is probably brought in for his defensive work against Emosi Vunivosa. He might have been given a job and said, make sure this guy doesn't move. And Coach Martis trusts Thikshana Dasanayake from his time at St. Peter's. He knows the player well, so knows what he can do, and maybe has brought him in to really counter the threat that Imosi Vunivosa poses, because Randy Silva a little smaller in that number 13 position, and Aryapala must be looking to be used as just that breakaway, Abdullah. So interesting what the coaches will be thinking and how the other coach will be reacting.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's more the physicality that these two players will bring in that center position to counter Vunivosa's threat. That's in all probability the thinking behind that. And of course, Randy Silva and Mithun Hapagod, if they come later on when the game is breaking up and a bit more open, they can have as big an impact as well.
Saw some stalwarts of Havelocks in the front row just a little while ago. Sami Akbar, who is the rugby secretary as well as the sponsor of the team. This is the Pyrrhus, their former coach, and Mr. Roshan Dean, who was one of these gentlemen a few decades ago. Not decades, perhaps a decade ago. But the referees will be of paramount importance in every game of rugby, obviously. And today they will be under a lot of pressure as well, because this is a hefty game between numbers 3 and 4 in the league. So whoever wins this will have serious bragging rights. So that's very important that the game is controlled well, and I'm sure referee Priyantha Gunaratne will do a brilliant job as he runs out with his ARs today. So the police crowd now rubbing their hands expectantly as we wait for the teams to come out. It's going to be a very, very important game for both teams. And do you think that police have the experience to be able to come out of this and make sure that they win this at home, Abdullah?
Yes, there are a couple of things that will give them a lot of confidence. First of all, they're playing at home. The second point is they have already beaten Havelocks once this season, so that will give them a lot of confidence. And of course, the third is Vunisova's presence. We saw during the highlight reel from that first game the kind of impact that he had against this Havelock Sports Club. So what kind of psychological impact will that have on Havelocks, knowing that the key tormentor in that first game is back in the police starting 15. So it'll be interesting to see how all those little things come into play as this game goes on.
Will be a very interesting fallout from that first round. Are Heavies going to come back with a vengeance, or are police going to be able to keep them at bay? That's the question that will be answered over the next 80 minutes or so. As Havelocks rather run out in their pink and chocolate jerseys that have become so familiar to us who have been watching club rugby over the years. And police in their blue and white, running out on their home grounds. The body language is good from both teams. I think we will be in for a fast-paced game. Two positive coaches as well, Sanat Martis and Asanka Rodrigo, who both like to run the ball. And it will be interesting to see which one of them starts better.
Yes, and conditions in that aspect will definitely aid that kind of play. Whoever takes the initiative earlier on, whoever is able to provide good front football for their three quarters, I think that will play a crucial part on how both these teams can execute their attacks.
Referee Gunaratne is mic'd up and he's ready for the action. The final huddle for police, who are probably going to kick off because they've got the ball with them. So Keshan Kavinda, the number 25 jersey, Priyantha Gunaratne, assisted by Dilum Dishana and Ravin Alexander, the two assistant referees. And they will be under scrutiny today, of course, because there's a lot that goes on off the ball in the modern game. They'll have to make sure that they keep a lid on that as well. Lots more rugby action as we start off today. They started off the day with Super Rugby, and now it's Dialog Rugby League, and then later on in the evening we have Six Nations Rugby as well. Don't forget, Dialog will bring you all of those. And Sandesh Jayavikrama kicks off this game between 3 and 4 in the Dialog Rugby League. You're live on ThePapare.com. Taken initially by Kavinda Jayasundara. Has a winger's jersey on, but playing in the flanker position. Forgive me, that was Kavinda Jayasundara, who is playing at scrum half today. Sandesh Jayavikrama goes back and decides to go for touch. So first set piece of the game, not a bad start by Police to thump that ball down the field.
Yeah, that's right. Managed to identify some space at the back of the second line of defense of Havelock Sports Club, forcing Sandesh Javikrama to just clear the lines, but from a very acute angle, so couldn't get much of ground.
Rasit Silva will look for Mohan Vimalaratne in the line out, and it's a good take by the second rower. Vunivosa is the man they go to immediately, and that pass is right across the face of the intended recipient. Police still going though, into the 22 they go, managing to hold on to it. Inside pass, Rasit Silva. Still waiting is Jasundra. Here's Vunivosa, manages to get the back of the hand, offload going. That's a really good bit of play. Vunivosa is calling for the high shot, but I think Police will be happy with that.
Yes, I think what he was pointing out, whether there was actually any arms around. We can have a look at that once again. Good cover tackle by Vimukti Rahula. Whether he made any attempt to get his arms round is the question that Vunisova is trying to point out to the referee, but the referee seems to be fine with that tackle.
Okay.
Yes, it's important things that we allow to go on when the TMO doesn't come into play, doesn't it, Abdullah? Otherwise, you slow everything down to snail space and you can find something wrong with everything, really.
Time.
Vagisha Veerasinghe it was who took that shot in the chest, but good cover tackle in the end. But they've made a hash of the line out, and here's some room for Police through Primesh Danushka. Looks like it was knocked on. So referee will come back. There was a knock on in the line out, so that's why he's brought it back and given the ball to Havelocks.
So first scrum for the game. Interesting to see who will try and get dominance up front. But bit of a scrappy line out on that occasion, so I'm sure Havelocks will want to get some good ball here and just clear their lines.
Police just couldn't get their hands on that defensive line out. So the scrum has to be steady
Get back.
before the ball goes in. And I think referee Gunaratne is an experienced coach, an experienced referee, knowing that the team on the attack is probably going to try to exert some pressure and giving the penalty to Havelocks. That's most referees in the world are guessing, but I think that's one of the better guesses.
Yeah, that's right, and not very clever on Police's part as well. You're just 5 meters away from the try line. Even if they had just allowed Havelocks to get that ball and clear their lines, they probably wouldn't have got out of the 22 or much further. But not only have they given a penalty, they've also given Havelocks an opportunity to throw the ball in.
Surrendering position, that's what they did. Azmir Fajuddin will go to the back, but again they've picked it off nicely. They're following Ganidu Lakshan around in the line out. Veerasinghe to Vunivosa. Will the ball bounce kindly for him? Yes, it does. Vagisha Veerasinghe always on the shoulder of the Fijian. Primesh Danushka with a quick ball, and here's Vunivosa with the long pass. Rasit Silva should probably have given it first time.
Play advantage.
Mohan Vimalaratne couldn't collect the pass.
Back.
And that's two scoring opportunities perhaps that Police have now squandered. And Santosh Algama has it charged down.
Forward, no advantage.
But referee has come back for a knock-on.
Pink ball.
Well, Shanak, we are just not even 5 minutes into this game, and you can already see the impact Vunivosa is having on this game. Two wonderful offloads. You just sense whenever he gets the ball, the Havelock's defense just either freezes or just tightens up. As you can see, a wonderful bit of skill, and then just the presence of mind to get that pass out. Just brilliant from Vunivosa.
It's just sleight of hand, isn't it? It's like he's playing sevens rugby with 15 men against him. Knows exactly where the defense is, has a sense for it, Abdullah, and that's what these Fijian players seem to do. Much better than anyone else in the world, really. That's a good scrum from Police that time. They'll need to be careful not to swing around, but they're quite lucky. I thought that referee Gunaratne blows that one up. They were clearly under pressure there. Faiz Abdullah here on the tight head side, facing a few problems from the bigger, more experienced Police pack.
Yes, and also it's a very young front row, isn't it? Faiz Abdullah, Zayan Zaba and Azmir Fajuddin. Yet, wouldn't call them inexperienced, but yet very young in the club rugby scene. That front row is a place where you really need some experience.
And where you need the weight as well, Abdullah. And I think Rashid Silva brings just so much weight to that forward pack. Police, Santosh Algama at first receiver, clears and clears well. But Police will have another opportunity, and Mohan Vimalaratne has figured twice now in the defensive lineouts. He knocked the first one on, but that was pretty easy for him to pick off Ganidul Lakshan.
Yes, that's an area where generally Havelock, especially in that first round, had been very solid. They came a couple bit in that aspect against Kandy, but other than that, they have been very good. But so far, they seem to be struggling a bit at the lineout.
Silva to throw in, and Vimalaratne takes it at the front. It's a good pass out from Primesh Danushka. This time they go to Kavinda Jayasundara, who trucks it up the middle. Here's the other prop forward. We're looking at Danushka Ediri Surya. Univosa again, nice flat ball out to his winger. Danushka. Here's Vimalaratne, the line-out specialist. He's gone to the floor, so the tackler has to release him. Danushka again. And here's Univosa. Draws two players. And that's a good show and go. Vagesh Veerasinghe now cuts back inside sensibly. They're using him wide out on the wing, the flanker.
No hands!
Shaukat Lahir all over that ball, but didn't survive the clean out. Here's Rashid Silva, shows and goes again, makes good yards. Police on the charge. Danushka Ediri Surya falls over Sandesh Jayavikram, who looks like he's hurt himself in the collision with the big prop. Here's some space for Suranga Kasun, and the try, is it good? The referee says yes, it is. Touch judge, or assistant referee I should say, right on the spot, and it looks like Suranga Kasun may have touched down on the far side. So again, good continuity from Police and getting the first score of the game.
Yeah, that's right. And also the good part about it is it was all quick recycled ball, not giving Havelocks any time for their defense to align. We just felt that sometimes whether they were being pushed into the corner too much, but they just managed to preserve enough space for Shahan Akila to put the finishing touches. So good start by Police Sports Club. Havelocks just haven't been able to get into this game in any way. And it's just the start which Police would have wanted.
My apologies, it is Shahan Akila who touched down. Dara Kasan was the man who gave him the ball just prior to it. Here's a big charge from Danushka Ediri Surya. All over the ball was Havelock's defense. Should probably have kept their feet. Nice pass from Erosion. Here Suranga Kasun manages to get the back of the hand offload to Shahan Akila, and the assistant referee is watching the touchline like a hawk, and all Shahan Akila needs to do is just fall over the line. Wouldn't score an easier try.
Yes, the conversion goes astray, so Police Sports Club 5-0 up, and they've definitely dominated both in terms of position as well as territory. So Havelock Sports Club will do well to just try and get hold of the ball and just try and spend some time in Police's half just to settle those nerves down. They just seem to be a bit anxious. Probably the confidence dented a bit after their loss against Sia last week. They should need just look and try and getting some points on the board as soon as possible.
Yes, I think they've been a little upset by their lack of success at line-out time. The line-out is a huge part of any team's armory, but especially for Havelocks, they need that attacking platform. Sabah does well that time to palm the ball infield. Algama goes back, but it's not a great kick at all.
Get back, number 12!
Here's a little bit of space for Primesh Danushka. Here's a try score. Suranga
Number 12
Kasun at
offside.
fullback.
Number 12!
Offside, says the referee. Number
You
12
can't sit
didn't
here, you can't sit
retire,
here.
so
Number
that
12.
was
Number 12, you can't sit
Arya
here.
Pala.
Penalty. Let's come there.
Yohan Pyrrhus with a good kick downfield, which put Santosh Algama under a little bit of pressure. And of course, you have the option if a player of your own team is in front of the ball, you get the option to take the scrum from where it was kicked, and you have the option of taking the kick back where the player was. So Police sensibly have taken the scrum way downfield.
That's right. Again, Algama just showing a bit of nerves, I guess. That was a pretty poor kick right in center field. He had no one behind chasing him as well. So Police are ready to launch another attack. Vunusova identifying a bit of space at the back. A little punt ahead, but just goes into touch. So probably not the outcome that was expected. Maybe they would have done better to hold on to the ball.
Mata peno. Captain, don't go.
So you can hear referee Priyantha Gunaratne telling the players to just calm down, that he can see everything that's happening. There's no reason to draw things to his attention. As we have a look at that kick again, a pretty poor kick, a nothing kick as you would call it, putting your team under a lot of pressure. There was Santosh Algama.
Daryapal also not retiring.
Small ball.
Needed to just take a few steps back. That's all he needed to do. Can't stand your ground when you're in front of the kicker, but Havelocks will look to slow things down now a little, just to take the wind out of Police's sails. That's a decent enough kick from Sandesh Jayawickrama, and Police opt to take it quickly. So try scorer Shan Akila gives it to Kasun Suranga. Again, number 30 falling over the ball. That was Theekshana Dasanayaka, who really needed to keep his feet because he had contestable rights to that ball.
That's right. He did the hard work by getting into the correct position, but unfortunately could not control his body weight and just went over. So it's just these little errors that are letting Havelocks down. And another opportunity for Police to probably put this into touch and launch another attack.
Yohan Pyrrhus will put this one into touch, and it is a great touch find actually. Right on the 5 meter line, so he knows his ground like the back of his hand probably. Yohan Pyrrhus, the local boy. Here's Kasun Suranga, sandwiched by the two centers for Havelocks, but Theekshana Dasanayaka really needed to keep his feet there.
Don't go sit again.
Sri Lanka's largest video collection with Dialog View. Don't forget, you can get it on Google Play and download it on App Store. You can watch these games on it as well. No data charges. Police have managed to secure the ball. And now we'll try to keep it close. Vimalaratna goes in. Ball is a little slow for Primesh Danushka.
No hands.
Udara Surya Peruma now. Yohan Pyrrhus to Vunivosa, shows and goes. And off to Yohan Pyrrhus as well. What a beautiful offload. I don't know which was better, the quality of the fend or the quality of the offload. Ablala, you pick.
Well, I have to go for that offload because under tremendous pressure, he was virtually just hitting the deck, and just having the presence of mind and the accuracy to give that offload to Yohan Pyrrhus to put the finishing touches. Police just extending their lead, and Vunisova, what an impact he's having on this game already. Havelocks rather, just struggling to contain him. And one thing Police seem to have mastered, so the little bit we have seen in this game, is they're running very close channels. They're in the supporting lines of Vunisova, so enabling him to draw the defense and just give those offloads at crucial moments.
Yeah, I think they've really done their homework on that, because Yohan Pyrrhus is not built like your traditional fly half, but he was running a great angle. And Vunivosa knew exactly where to find him. Vagesh Veerasinghe has probably been given the job by Asanka Rodrigo just to track Vunivosa wherever he is on the field. He'll get you the ball, just do something with it. So Pyrrhus adds the extra 2 to his try as well. And Police move 12 points to 0 ahead. Looks like this team perhaps have Havelock's number.
Yes, well, thus far it definitely looks like that. It's just that, as you have a look at that replay once again, some good recycled ball. That was the first try. So Shana Akila just going over. Again, a wonderful offload just before that try.
Udara Surya Peruma doing brilliantly and setting up the maul in open play as well. Wow, that was good technique from the police team.
No hands, no
Haven't
hands.
seen that happen very much. Good presence to go up, take the ball and keep your feet. Yohan Pyrrhus now, after scoring, has just let that ball go and undoing the good work that was done by his forwards. And as he got his boot to the ball, all his players were in front of him, so police will have a very convenient, Havelocks rather will have a very convenient penalty to try and just put some pressure back on this police team.
Yes, it's always so important once you score, just to ensure that when you receive the kickoff, to make sure it's clean and try and get into the opposition's half immediately. But on that occasion, the police forwards did everything correctly, but an error by Pyrrhus has just put his team again on the back foot.
Blue.
So you can go from hero to villain in the matter of seconds in life as well as rugby. Shaukat Lahir used at the front to try and counter this threat of the police defensive jumpers, but again, looks like Havelocks will have the ball. Police crowd behind the assistant referee don't seem to like it. Here's the bust from Vunivosa, dismisses Thikshana Dasanayaka from his presence. And then the Fen gives him just enough time to free his arms and chuck that ball into the breadbasket that Yohan Pyrrhus was carrying with him. Gone to the back this time. Senal Dilaka is the option, so they're looking at a few different options in the line out. Shaukat Lahir now peeling away from that maul. Vimukti Rahula to Azmir Fajuddin, standing wide. Presents the ball well, and here's some quick ball for Thikshana Dasanayaka now. Well tackled in the end by Silva. Here's Vimukti Rahula running against his old schoolmates. Sandesh Jayavikrama caught in possession. Police's line speed was good, but they've conceded the penalty again. Taken quickly by Rahula. He sees the value of not slowing things down. Saba to Lahir. 3 policemen enveloping him, but manages to make it available. Vimukti Rahula again, quick inside ball to Arya Pala. In fact, it was Ganindu Lakshan who carried that forward. Slow ball though. Havelocks desperate to score and stay within 1 score of police. Vimukti Rahula, Sandesh Jayavikrama running into each other with Thikshana Dasanayaka. Lucky not to be an accidental offside, but police have conceded yet another penalty.
Some good intensity shown by Havelocks. Just would like to see them maybe try and getting some points earlier on, just to settle those nerves. They've had about 3 cracks now at from penalty time. It hasn't been successful, but looks like they'll be going to touch once again. So far, Police's defensive line has been very good. They have lined themselves extremely well, not allowed Havelocks to get behind that first line of defense.
So it's Havelocks' ball again. It's crucial that they win this line out. They've used 3 options so far, and they've gone to the one that worked, which is Senal Dilaka. They're going to try and drive this over. Udara Surya Peruma tries the sack and is successful enough for referee Gunaratna's liking, but Lahir is over. Shaukat Lahir, great body position from the young flanker,
1 minute, water break.
and keeps his body low to the ground and straight, and manages to barge himself over the line to get a 5-point to the first one for Havelocks, who are not going to go quietly.
Yeah, that's right. How many times has he done that for Havelocks this season? From close quarters, around the breakdown, he's very effective. It's just that his strength and his body position, Chanaka, that just enables him to just barge over from such close quarters. And a very good response by Havelocks, and it's pretty much game on now.
Yes, he's a big boy. He's not tall, but he packs a punch. Watch it here how well this turned out, because Udara Surya Peruma did manage to sack it. Referee said that was okay. And watch Lahir here, low to the ground, pumping those legs, getting a bit of help from Sabah, from Faiz Abdullah rather, as he barges over from 3 meters out. Sandesh Jaivirkama now to bring them within 5. We're in the firing line here in our commentary box. And it's a very, very good kick as Jaivirkama gives them a much needed 7-pointer. Havelocks will be breathing much easier. That'll settle the nerves. And maybe they will now play like the second place team they were for a few weeks. Or maybe it will spur Police on to play like the second place team they were for a few weeks as well.
That's right. It's the first time they really made it into Havelocks 22 and they made it count. So that will give them a lot of confidence. Just seem to be completely out of it within those first 15 minutes or so. But good response by Havelocks, and I'm sure that for the rest of the game that'll just give them the impetus that they needed.
Well, you're only as good as how much ball you've got, Abdullah, and Havelocks didn't have any ball at all. So Yohan Pyrrhus with that botched kick return, that was where things went wrong for them. So as you were saying, so important for teams to just stay switched on after they've scored. Statistically, the most vulnerable period for every team, not just in Dialog Rugby, but in World Rugby. 12 points to 7, plenty to play for here. And this is the 1-minute water break that they get at the end of the quarter. National selector Rohan Abekun having a chat with CEO of Sri Lanka Rugby, Lasita Gunaratna. Both played for Sri Lanka together. Here the highlights, the first try that was scored by Police. And don't forget, you can tune into our Singh Under 19 Division 1 cricket tournament as well, live every week on batsman.com and ThePapare.com. It's the first try for Shan Akila. And here's the second try. Watch the show and bang, Deekshana Dasanayaka, get out of my way. And that was pretty much the end of that. Vimukti Rahula brought down in the tackle by another one of his former teammates, Sachit Silva. Santosh Algama has that very low trajectory on his kick, but this time manages to get it away under pressure. Vagisha thinks of taking it quickly and does. Univosa, quick hands to the winger. Here's the other Silva, Eroshan Silva. Heavily strapped left knee for Eroshan. Here's Danushka Ediru Surya at close quarters. Lahir goes after that ball. Just doesn't survive the clean out. Surya Peruma to Yohan Pyrrhus, who puts in the kick. It's not a great one, but Santosh Algama is under a little bit of pressure, but manages to get the ball out easily.
Yes, again, Police would do well to just try and hold on to the ball. Kicker heads, unless there's a lot of space, is not the best option. Just turn possession over and find themselves back in their own half. So Police just need to up the ante once again. Very good from the kickoff. But little by little you can see that standards seem to be slipping a little bit. The decision making hasn't been as good as it was. It's important that they just try and hold on to possession for some time and play a bit more rugby in Havelock's half.
Well, the clouds have helped because it is a little less hot now. And a little bit of accidental offside. I thought could have let that one go. Shaukat Lahir having a word with the referee.
Well,
Surya Peruma at the front of the line out and running, just couldn't get out of the way.
Crouch!
So it's accidental offside, nothing deliberate about it, which is why it's only a scrum. Police regaining their feet in the front row there, and here's Navin Henakankanamge coming in off the blind side wing, but Univosa was not letting him have any room. Vimukti Rahul with a nice flat ball across the face of the defense. Azmir Fajuddin gets behind the first line of defense. Sabah Jai Vikrama opts to put the kick through, and this may be dangerous.
Number 2 offside.
Referee has a penalty though, so he will come back for a penalty to Havelocks. Number 2 offside is the call. So Rasit Silva was the guilty party there.
Yes, and they made the call of going for the post. So I think it's a wise decision. Got two good place kickers in Algama and Sandesh Jaivikrama, whomever they want to call on. So it looks like it will be young Algama who will be taking the kick on this occasion. He's got a very good kicking technique, and that could be one of the reasons why he has been brought into this team for his place kicking.
Well, he'll have to earn his keep here. It's a 40+ meter kick. Straight out in front, but these are never easy. But there's plenty on it, and it is an excellent kick from Santosh Algama. So between Sandesh Jaivikrama and Prince Chamara, they were probably not getting what they needed in terms of keeping the scoreboard ticking over. So Santosh Algama has come in at fullback and provided that opportunity.
Yes, so but slowly but surely, Havelock's just getting a grip of this game. So we have a look at that wonderfully struck penalty by Algama. So it's now just a 2-point game between both these teams after real dominance earlier on by Police Sports Club. Havelocks have clawed themselves back and find themselves just 2 points behind.
And Police, as you said, have really gone to sleep, Abdullah. They'll need to wake up again. Seem to have been taking a little bit of a break as Zayan Sabah knocks this one backwards. Did well to turn his body to the side. Jai Vikrama thinks about a pass, but then kicks instead. This is not the greatest kick in the world, and Primesh Danushka takes it well.
Poor option by Jai Vikrama. Absolutely a nothing kick. You want 22, you don't want to try an up and under. This gives Police another opportunity to launch an attack.
So the 2-point gap seems to have galvanized Police a little bit as Vunivosa goes straight up the middle. In fact, this is Vunivosa. Yohan Pyrrhus now with the long ball over the top. That's a good one for Hiroshina Silva. And here's some space. Can Navin Henakan Kanamge catch the other Silva, Sachit? And yes, he can. Sachit Silva dragged into touch. I thought Hiroshina could have maybe drawn the defender a little bit more before he passed that and given his brother a clear run in, but it looks like Sachit Silva is also labouring.
That's right. A dummy would have done well as well because Navin was in 2 minds. But also Hiroshina Silva yet would have done well to just try and stay in play. I think that's a skill which we've spoken many times, Shanaga, when you're just caught near the touchline to just try and cut in. We've seen teams at the higher levels do that so well just to ensure continuity.
Lahir at the front of the line out is the option, and he keeps going because nobody wanted him. Havi's picking and going just to buy the kicker a little bit of space. Algama again under a lot of pressure. Rasit Silva making sure they put the youngster making his debut at fullback, keeping him under the cosh. So that's good rugby from Police as far as that is concerned. But yes, watching it on the second go as well, it looked like Hiroshina really should have straightened up a little bit more. That's a real skill, isn't it, at number 13, Abdullah, to straighten that line.
Yeah, that's right. Just to give your wings that extra bit of space. Something that should be practiced at the training ground.
Surya Perumal not allowed to come down, but it doesn't matter because he's managed to set up the maul. And that was sacked well after it was formed. So Primesh Danushka will have a free play here. Vunivosa shows and goes. Will step back inside and he'll go under the post, will he? No, he won't. Just dragged down by Henakan Kanamge, who might find himself in a spot of bother there. Sachit Silva kicks ahead, and here's Primesh Danushka still going without a Surya Perumal with the long ball to Rasit Silva, Hena Kankanamge has come back to make the tackle on the wing. And he'll be lucky if this goes unnoticed, because he did properly dump a player into the floor.
Stop, stop, stop. Stop.
Let's see what referee Gunaratne has to say about this.
That looked really bad, Shanaka.
Get
It
back.
was very deliberate as well. Seen international World Rugby has been very clear on the ruling that if any player makes contact on the ground once he's lifted, it's an automatic red card. Fortunately, Vunivosa seems to be okay. He's back on his feet, but that was very reckless by
Number 33.
Naveen Hinakankanamge.
Dangerous play. Dangerous play.
And yes, it is a red. He's in a lot of trouble, and I think that's the right call from referee Priyantha Gunaratne. Naveen Hinakankanamge had no business to do what he did there. Picked up and knew exactly what he was doing as he rammed the opposition player into the floor. And that's a huge, huge miss. Watch it here again. He makes a good tackle here, an excellent one in fact, a try saver. Just the adrenaline rush. Look at him here as Vunivosa picks up and goes and bang into the dirt. He's lucky Vunivosa's okay, because he went straight into his shoulder, and I don't think there's any argument as Naveen hairs away from the spot to try and escape notice. Think he will be very disappointed with himself and his team with him.
So just approaching the 30-minute mark, and Havelocks will have to make do with 14 players for the rest of the game, as Sajid Silva just extends this lead to 15 points to 10. And it will be a real uphill task for Havelock Sports Club from here on. You just have to be really thankful that Vunivosa got up immediately, Shanaka, because that was a very, very reckless challenge.
Certainly was, Abdullah. They restored a 5-point gap. But more than that, they'll feel the loss of this man who's playing so well. Eager to get into the action. Doesn't like the fact that he's isolated on the wing sometimes. Coming in for it. Here it is. We'll see it again. So he makes the tackle. And this is a superb tackle. Anybody watching at home, that's exactly how you make the tackle. And even the second one, Vunivosa got up, he lifted him, and the problem was with how he brought him back down. The problem wasn't that he lifted him so much. If you lift him, the responsibility of bringing a player down safely is entirely up to you as a defender, and Hena Kankanamge didn't discharge his obligation to the game there.
So another opportunity for Havelocks. Police being penalized for obstruction. And Algama will try and get them as deep as possible into the 22. So an opportunity for Havelocks to just try and spend a bit of time in Police's 22. Driving maul will definitely be an option.
Here's a red card. It would be fair, I think, to say that Hena Kankanamge has done a Vaha Mahina, lifting him up and spearing him into the ground. He left his feet as well, so there was clearly no responsibility for safety there. And anybody watching at home who has arguments that referee Gunaratne was too harsh, I don't think those arguments will fly. Umesh Madhushan. Now they'll need to keep it close and tight with the forwards as Vimukta Rahula puts in a nothing kick. He had the advantage coming. So Havelocks will have a penalty. They will need their forwards to do the business here.
Yes, Rahul would have done well to play that penalty a bit better than just kicking it aimlessly. It was not that he was in the own 22. He was close to his try line, would have tried probably spreading it wide and having a crack, playing the advantage more effectively, but decided to get the penalty. And well, another opportunity for Havelocks really to try their driving maul.
See whether Police will try and work their defensive
penalty,
pressure, but there's a
penalty.
contest in the air as well as Surya Peruma wraps his arms around
Right.
Senal Dilaka.
Play advantage.
So again, bad discipline from both teams. Lahir will fancy his chances again as Sabah goes first. Lahir this time repelled because his body position was a little higher. There was a knock on there. The referee might blow it up. But Ganidul Lakshan still has it. Faiz Abdullah. Tackled by Yohan Pyrrhus, not shy of getting in among the big boys. He is one himself. And Vimukti Rahula again not being very sophisticated in how he plays for the penalty. So Havies don't seem to want advantage too much. They want to go to the set piece, which is sensible from them given they've got a man down as well.
Yes, another opportunity for Havelocks to launch an attack. Just Surya Peruma just seems to be anxious to try and sack the Havelocks line-out jumper at every given opportunity, and he has to be a bit careful because the previous occasion player was very much in the air, but this time does brilliantly well to steal it.
Mohan Vimalaratna rose like an eagle there. Beautiful defensive work. And Pyrrhus will put this one down the park and breathe a sigh of relief. Havelocks could have tied or taken the lead if they scored there, especially with a man down, but Police just doing enough to stay out in front.
Yes, Police managed to clear their lines, but not totally out of trouble as yet. Line out on the 22. So thus far, Havelock's line out hasn't been as consistent as they would like it to be. They won some good balls, but at the same time, they have lost as many.
Fajrin goes to the back this time. Senal Dilaka collects easily. Ganidul Lakshan gives the ball to the peeling Lahir. Rasit Silva counter-rucking, but to no avail as Fajrin rolls out of one tackle. Keeping it on the tram lines or between the tram lines. Havelocks. The wide option is not available to them now. They've got a man down. Tishana Dasanayaka leaves the ball behind and kicked through by Munivosa. Aryapala gets back to help his midfield partner. And Havelocks have lost 20 meters. Lahir goes again.
Not number 16.
Not rolling away, says the referee. And once again, it was Hashan Fernando who gave away the penalty. Rahula takes it quickly one more time. Dayan Sabah straightens the line. Jai Vikram accepts fly half. Accepts from half rather, and Fajuddin goes in for the tackle. Again, Vimalaratna shown a yellow card.
Yes, I think it was for not retreating 10. Cynical play and very rightly penalized. So it's 14 players all. It'll be as it is at least until the end of this half. So it's important that Havelocks try and capitalize on this and go into that half time with some form of a lead. That will definitely just make them feel much better.
Well, this might have been the one line out that they had to play, Abdullah, with the best defensive jumper for Police away. So they might probably have taken their chances. I think Vimalaratna will be quite happy if they escape with 3 points here rather than 7. Santosh Algama may have just struck this off to the side, but no, it curls back inwards. And Algama thanks the man upstairs for that.
Yes, well, it's pretty evident why Algama has been brought into this team.
1.5.
His kicking is from the tee has been solid, and as we have a look at that once again, Vimukti Rahula just drawing that penalty. Probably knew that Police second rower had not retreated the 10, just drew that penalty brilliantly, and not only got his team 3 points, but managed to get a Police player sent out of the field as well. So another error, not finding 10 meters. So another opportunity for Havelocks, about 6 minutes away from the half-time whistle.
Scrum here.
If they can go into a lead at half-time, that will definitely give them a lot of confidence heading into that second half.
Certainly will. It's just 2 points behind and one man down for the rest of the game as well. That pressure, of course, will start telling later on in the game, but for the moment, if they can get a lead, then that will be a much happier dressing room at half-time for Havelocks. Rahul now with plenty of space, plenty of opportunity on both sides of the pitch.
Set.
Centre scrums are fly half's dream, really. Marching it forward are Havelocks as Zayan Sabah picks up and goes. Runs straight into Vagisha Veerasinghe. No release, says the referee. Vagisha Veerasinghe, I think, may have a case to argue here.
I think he most certainly does, Shanaka. Just seemed that he seemed to have had first rights to the ball before the ruck was formed, but referee Priyanda Gunaratna deemed otherwise. Nonetheless, an opportunity now for Havelocks to go into the lead. Thus far, Algama has been 100% accurate with the boot, as we have a look at that replay once again.
So I think the referee may have called number 13 not releasing, but Vagisha was definitely the second man there, so he had rights, but perhaps it was a player before him that didn't release in time. And Algama will step up for his third attempt at goal. He's kept his team in this. And that hits the inside of the post as it comes back in field, and it's half-time. And as we said, Havelocks go into half-time with a slender 1-point lead thanks to the boot of this man, Santosh Algama, who's making his debut at fullback, brought in for this specific purpose and doing exactly what his coach wanted him to do. Navin Henakankanamge being red-carded is a talking point of the first half. Plenty more action in this Dialog Rugby League game between Police and Havelocks here, live from Police Park. You're on ThePapare.com, of course, your number one sports platform in Sri Lanka.
So after the first 20 minutes dominance by Police Sports Club, Havelocks have come storming back to take the lead. And although they'll be down 14 players, down to 14 players in that second half, just going into the half-time with that lead will definitely give them a lot of confidence.
Have to wait and see whether Police have enough petrol in the tank when they come back in the second half. Their band will aim to raise the spirits of not just the crowd but their team as well. As we have a quick look at the tries in this first half. Edri Surya took it forward, and this was Silva to Kasan Suranga, who gave a nice offload for Shan Akila to score in the corner. And this is Vunivosa dismissing Thikshana Dasanayake from his presence. Sandesh Chavikrama drags him down, but Yohan Pyrrhus was running a great angle for the offload.
There's Yohan Pyrrhus making no mistake with the conversion. And Havelocks pretty much immediately striking back through some wonderful work by flanker Lahir. Wonderful body position and strength as well, just going over for Havelock's first try. And from then on, Santosh Algama just took over with the boot and knocked over 3 penalties to take Havelocks into the lead in this first half. And this was the red card, the reckless challenge by Navin Henakankanamge. No doubt the citing commissioner would also want to have a look at that at the end of this game. So penalty from that ensuing infringement was slotted over without much difficulty, and Algama replied back with another well struck penalty, and then on the stroke of half time, striking it well, hitting the upright and going over. So that's how the scores stand, 16 points to 15. Havelocks up on the scoreboard, but will be down one man going into that second half.
You're watching live Dialog Rugby League action on Sri Lanka's #1 sports platform, ThePapare.com. We'll be back after the break.
අලු සීටිකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
සර් සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with the heart.
Unanimous decision. A new world record.
අලු සීටිකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
සර් සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with the heart.
අලු සීටිකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
සර් සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with the heart.
Unanimous decision. A new world record.
Welcome back to live action here at Police Park as Police, the hosts, take on the visitors from just across town, Havelock Sports Club. 3 and 4 in the league at the start of this game. Will that flip up or down? We don't know. There's just 1 point in it. 16 points to 15 is how Havelocks went into halftime with a 1-point lead. But of course, when they come back, they will be down a man. Navin Henakankanamge red carded, which means he will miss the rest of this game for sure, and may even miss a couple more games depending on what the disciplinary panel decide his fate will be. He was red carded, of course, for a spear tackle on Emosi Vunivosa, who has been instrumental in the first 2 tries that Police scored, and those are the only 2 tries that they have scored so far. They will definitely want to get back into this game pretty quickly, with Asanka Rodrigo maybe emptying his bench to try and see whether he can spark something.
Yes, Havelocks no doubt will want to continue from where they left off in that second half, coming back extremely well during that final 15 minutes of that first half, after Police got off to a terrific start.
So Yohan Pyrrhus seems like he might have been replaced as Umesh Madhushan gathers that kickoff and gives it to Sandesh Jayavikrama to thump safely into touch.
So it'll be interesting to see how Havelocks adjust to being down to 14 players. There's no doubt a bit of adjustment in their defensive structure will have to come into play, and no doubt they would have had a word on that at half-time.
There's plenty of space now just behind the line out. Rasid Silva finds Vagisha Veerasinghe with Mohan Vimalaratna still in the bin. Primesh Danushka opts to take this straight up the middle. And Danushka Edri Surya now puts his shoulder to the wheel, but is met by the equally strong presence of Umesh Madhushan. Again, quickly taken by Danushka. Primesh Danushka still going. Can he get past Vimukti Rahula, his opposite number? No, he can't. Just dragged down in time. But Senal Dilaka was way offside as he got that ball out, and that was a cynical offense from Dilaka. Be surprised if he escapes a yellow card here, but looks like Rahula is in trouble as well on the floor. Primesh Danushka really made those spectators get off their seats.
Yes, well, he seemed to have picked up something that Vimukti Rahula did so effectively for Havelocks in that first half. Following suit, just catching the Havelocks defensive line napping.
Not supporting body weight.
And just the start Police would have wanted. Find themselves with a penalty in Havelocks 22. It's in a bit of an angle, so I don't think they will go for the post as we have a look at that once again. Danushka going to the ground.
Senal Dilaka was nowhere near onside when he picked up that ball. And was a scoring opportunity, so the referee may think about going to his pocket. But Rahula looks like he's in a bit of trouble here. Got back and really did his best to drag down his opposite number, which he did, and saved a try for his team. But I think we may be looking at Mithun Hapugada coming on a little bit faster than he wanted to.
Yeah, that's right. But Dilaka can probably consider himself a bit lucky because it was very much in what you'd call the red zone, and Police were in full flight. Could have very well been termed as cynical, but referee Gunaratne decided to just let it go with a penalty alone. Maybe in this current situation, having Hapugoda on the field may not be the worst thing from Havelock's point of view as well. Brings a lot of experience in addition to his flair. But we'll just need to be a bit cautious on how he executes his attack, isn't it, Chanaka? He's a very high-risk player. Got some wonderful feet, but can be a bit reckless when it comes to decision-making.
Certainly can. Vimukti Rahula also showed a little bit of an inkling to take the game to Police to make sure that he plays fast. So if that's what his coach wants, sure he would have been given that instruction. But experienced coach Martis may also have said, slow this one down, guys. We have a man down. You don't want to be running all the time. But again, Police may start tiring. The Police reserves are warming up as we speak. So Asanka Rodrigo will get them in. There are a few good names on that bench. Janit Chandimal, Uday Sanjula, Vihanga Peyuturu, Diat Fernando, all experienced players who can come on and make a difference.
So Rahul seems to have done his knee. Let's hope it's not anything serious. He's played very well for Havelocks in this season. Swapping the scrum half roles with his skipper. So he's being stretched off. Let's just hope that it's nothing too serious and he'll be back in action soon.
It looked like a knee or an ankle. This could either be very serious or not serious at all. Or usually much worse than it looks. Much better than it looks, rather. This Police opt to go for the corner line out. They don't have one of their best jumpers, of course. Mohan Vimalaratne still in the bin, itching to come back on as soon as he can. But Udara Surya Peruma is an experienced jumper. He will probably take this one at number 2 as he does. And Vagisha Veerasinghe and Rasit Silva trundles over from that front peel. And you can see he's happy with that. Rasit, the experienced policeman, has been doing a lot of good work in carrying the ball. And Vagisha Veerasinghe executed beautifully. It was a well-worked line-out move. The front peel. Veerasinghe took it straightened. And Veerasinghe had Rasit Silva rather had the yawning gap to walk through.
That's right. You just sense that Havelock's defense was caught totally napping. Fajuddin was there to overlook that, but very well executed. Wonderful front peel and very well drawn and passed, wasn't it, Shanaka? Just straightened out extremely well. Drew Fajuddin into the tackle and passed the ball. Rasit Silva just had to virtually walk over. So just the start Police would have wanted. They've broken that momentum that Havelocks carried into this second half.
Yes, it was wonderfully executed, Abdullah. And you have to wonder, Vagisha Veerasinghe, if he had a few more inches in height, what kind of a player he would have been. All heart, so many good basic skills. And that's a wonderful kick from the replacement fly half who's come on, Janit Chandimal. Good to see him back on the park.
So Police starting off extremely well, not what Havelocks would have wanted, because Police are yet down to 14 players, and I'm sure Havelocks would have wanted to capitalize on that as long as possible, because they will be down to 14 players for the rest of the game. But it was not to be, and that will definitely give Police a lot of confidence.
Algama kicks off. And Chandimal now with a big boot on him. Will not take any risks and take his team right up to halfway. So that's a good exit from Police, not taking any chances, especially after they've just scored. Navin Henakan Kanamge can't even be on the bench. He's got to go to the dressing room. And this Havelocks team, you can see the body language. A little forlorn at the moment, but they're a good young team. Never say die. Lahir keeps the ball in hand because Police didn't engage. But Udara Surya Peruma took that ball from an offside position and wasn't on his feet. So Havelocks did well there. If the opposition team doesn't engage, you've got to keep the ball with the initial ball carrier. If they transferred it back to someone else who ripped it off him, then that would have been an accidental offside. So Havelocks playing with good knowledge of the rules there.
Make a push now. One meter push වෙන්න ඕනේ එක. එන්න බෑ.
Surya Peruma called on to do the jumping duties once again. The absence of Vimalaratne, the senior man, had been given a bit of a break. But Vimalaratne seems to be warming up on the bench. We'll be in a few moments as Fajuddin will look to hit his target, which is Lahir. Does well.
Up.
Mithun Hapagoda to Umesh Madhushan. Nothing expansive from Havelocks. Mithun Hapagoda comes back to the short side. Fajuddin takes a couple of tacklers.
Roll away. Blue.
Tanindul Lakshan gets smashed back by police. Here's Dayan Sabha. Madhushan gets away from Univosa. Here's some space now for Theekshana Dasanayaka. It's a good ball out to Aryapala, his centre partner. Good run from Aryapala. Excellent work from the centre. And here's Fajuddin, hits the ball at pace but can't hold it. And Univosa will thump this one up the field, but the referee will deem no advantage. So promising moments for Havelocks there.
It's nice flat pass by Hapagoda,
19
just
off.
expecting
Pink
his
number
hooker Fajuddin to run into it.
Number 19, pink off.
Fajuddin did oblige, but unfortunately couldn't hold on to the ball. Otherwise, the line was beckoning for him, but it was not to be. So an opportunity now for police to once again just get out of their 22, and they are now back to their full
Hurry up,
complement of
scrum,
15 players as well. So it's 15 against 14. And
Crouch.
22 to
Bind.
12 to 16 in favor of police
Set.
on both counts.
Penalty.
And on this occasion,
Yeah.
Havelocks penalized for being a bit too eager. Not scrumming in straight
Time
is
off.
the call.
That's never easy when there's boring in or there's a quick move. Rasit Silva looks like he might have done a little bit of damage to his neck. Also, it may be just a little bit of a break that he needs. Been doing some good work, just scored a try on the other end, so he'll feel he deserves a bit of a break.
Come on.
Yes, it's always an interesting decision that the front rows have to make, isn't it, Chanaka? You're just so close to your try line. You're eager to try and put as much pressure on the opposition scrum. But at the same time, if you probably just hold your scrum and apply enough pressure on the person who's trying to clear the ball, probably will get a bit more, a better chance of having a line out probably on from the 22 as well, as we see on this occasion.
Yes, certainly. Abdullah, that's where the experience and the discipline comes in. Players really need to know how not to do themselves damage and upset your team's chances. Giving away a penalty at that area is just silly, and Havelocks didn't do it, or did do it last time. Police did it early on in the first half as well. Just a little bit of over-enthusiasm. Malisha Madhumevan has come in for Senal Dilaka, who didn't have the best game by his standards. Was out of the side for a couple of weeks and now has come back. Title-winning former Isipatana captain Udara Surya Peruma. That's a floater, dangerous ball.
Hands up.
And Kavinda Jayasundara, who is standing in the centres, managed to rescue it.
Last put.
The police flanker.
Release. Release.
Eduru Surya runs it up again. And Primesh Danushka looks for Janit Chandimal, who hoists this. And Keshan Kavinda takes it well, as Shan Akila dives over the top. So it's still advantage for police, but
You are not off the feet.
it was advantage for Havelocks actually. Here's Santosh Algam acting as scrum half now. Mithun Hapagoda. Nice inside ball from Umesh Madhushan. But he's dropped it, and now here's a little bit of space for the dangerous Sachit Silva. Steps back in field nicely. Randy Silva, or Mithun Hapugoda, brings him down eventually. Here's Rasit Silva to hands it off to his front row partner Hashan Fernando. And they've turned the ball over, have Havelocks beautifully done. And here's Mithun Hapugoda looking for a bit of space, doesn't find it, does find Theekshana Dasanayaka, who bumps off the first tackle. But Edri Surya gets him on the second.
Advantage over.
Lahir instructed to let it come back from Hapugoda. Here's Zayan Sabah. Good ball to Keshan Kavinda. But he leaves it behind. Now it's an offload, it's available. And a good kick up the center field. Mithun Hapugoda under a lot of pressure. The referee may blow this for an early tackle. Here's Hashan Fernando. Now it's opened up for Vagisha Veerasekara. Here's Vunivosa. Gives the ball away. Rasit Silva does miraculously well to hang on to it, much to the delight of the police crowd in that corner. Not releasing, says referee Gunaratna, and Rasit Silva will take another very well deserved break.
Yeah, that's right. What a collection. Again, Vunivosa throwing that miracle offload, but brilliantly collected by Rasit Silva just to keep that play going. Police, Havelocks rather, just can't afford to give away turnover ball. With Vunivosa out wide, they can be very dangerous. Again, just that wonderful collection by Rasit Silva. And I think it was Malaysia who just didn't roll away on time after making that tackle, being penalized. So little by little, police will look to try and make that extra man count. Chandimal just slots that ball into touch. 5 meters away from the try line. So now it'll keep Havelocks on their toes, because the last try there was a front peel. This time what does the police have up their sleeve?
Don't forget to join us on stats.thepapare.com if you're looking for any kind of statistics with regard to the Dialog Rugby League. An in-depth look at the facts and figures on the Papare stats. Vimala Ratna. The line out is sacked, and sacked well by Havelocks. Umesh Madhushan tries to get his hand in there. Police do well to come away with the ball. Again, it's Rasit Silva. Edru Surya. Police smashing it straight up the middle. They found a new lease of life. Silva on the short side. Almost to the line. Strong counter up by Malaysia Madhumevan. Tries to get under the ball, and Havelocks defense have succeeded so far. And over goes Rimesh Tanushka. The ball was just a little loose, and Havelocks defense didn't react in time, and the little scrum half has taken a poacher's try.
Yes, the ball just came out of the ruck, but that just gave Primesh enough time to catch the Havelocks defense that was so good for so many phases, unawares, and it's a very nippy scrum half if ever there was one. Just picked the ball up and dove over for Police's tried for them to extend that lead and get that bonus point as well with the 4 tries. As we have a look at that once again, the ball just squirting out of that ruck. Good awareness by Primesh to collect that and go over to extend Police's lead further. So 27 points to 16, conversion to come, and Havelocks definitely have a mountain to climb from here on.
Well, it's an 11-point lead and a man down, so things not looking pretty for Havelocks at the moment as Janit Chandimal lines up another touchline conversion. Had no problems with the last one, so chances are that he will not have too many problems with this one either, but just off to the left of the posts there. So the gap remains at 11. Certainly nothing in it in terms of what Havelocks are capable of. 2 quick tries and they win. So Havelocks shouldn't hang their heads just yet. They are a tenacious team. Univosa knows though that whoever scores next will be crucially important. Sandesh Javikrama. Primesh Tanushka now, the try scorer, gives it to Chandimal. And they're trying a little bit from their own goal line now. And that's set up Hiroshana Silva nicely. But it looks like he may have stopped short as well. Looked like he pulled up with a bit of a hamstring strain. But the referee has called it back for a forward pass perhaps.
It's always very risky throwing the ball like that in your own 22. Again, not being as clinical as they should after scoring the try from receiving the kickoff. Probably trying to exploit that extra man they have out wide, Univosa. It's hard to say from that angle whether it actually went forward, but it was seemed to be the call from the assistant referee.
Yes, you could very clearly see the assistant referee communicating, and that's good to see the ARs getting involved. Looks like in back play, Havelocks are losing another crucial player. Dinushan Aryapala has been outstanding for them today. But unfortunately, he looks like he's limping off with an ankle or knee issue again. Which means that Randy Silva will probably need to come into number 13. But this man has been immense for Police too, and he is now limping off. Rasit Silva. Probably see Lahiru Pavitra come onto the park in his place. Indeed he has. So it's been a fairly physical game, lots of fast open rugby, and in these hot conditions, Abdullah, that's never easy on the body.
Yes, and looks like penalty has been awarded to Havelocks that decide to take the quick tap. Attacking along the fringes, good defense by Police. But importantly, Havelocks have managed to retain possession. Another pick and go at close quarters. Police desperately holding on.
Blue!
Very slow ball. Referee has his arm out wide again, probably for offside. So Havelocks will have a free play here. Let's see what Hapogoda has up his sleeve. Looking for his options. Deciding to go to close quarters once again. Directing his forwards. Madhushan picks and goes, but doesn't make any ground.
A little high in the body position there, Havelocks, as they try to double up their way into the Police defense.
On the line.
And
On
penalty
the line.
for offside, and referee Priyantha Gunaratna will give Havelocks now another opportunity just to knock on the door and see if a win is possible. There's quarter of the game still to play and just 11 points, so if they bridge 7 of them, they're just a try away, and Havelocks will know desperately that that is something that they have to do just to put the pressure back on Police as well.
Yes, Havelocks have to make every opportunity they get count. Handicapped with the loss of a player as well, so every opportunity they get to put points on the board, they've got to be extremely accurate and execute to perfection.
Thought Senal Dilaka was off, but he seems to be on. Malisha Madhumevan has come in for Zayan Sabah, it would look like. That's a good maul by Havelocks, just unable to score. No, they do manage to dot it down, did Shaukat Lahir. He's pretty sure it was a try, and Shaukat Lahir gets a double from close quarters and keeps his team in the game.
Yes, well, referee Gunaratna was right on the spot to see whether it was scored. So Lahir gets his second score for Havelocks. And 27-21, they're right back in this game.
Watch him here in the scrum cap in the number 7 jersey, just peeling away the final moment. And yeah, just managing to dot it down. Touched the blade of grass before it left his hand for sure. Referee Gunaratna right on the spot. Fajuddin right on the spot, was pretty sure it was scored as well. And Lahir is not going to be asking any questions.
So Algama with the opportunity to just narrow this lead further. Strikes it well, but just misses it against the right upright. So the score will remain 27 points to 21. There's just a score in it. So Havelocks very much back into this game as we approach the last quarter.
Plenty still left to play for. Havelock squad looking on. Vunivosa hasn't had a lot of the ball in this last quarter of the game since half time. They'll be looking to want to get it into his hands a little bit more as the game wears on. The replacements have made a difference to both teams, as Mithun Hapugoda will opt to put this one down the field. Shan Akila scored the first try. It's a hospital pass to Hiroshan Silva. Good tackle by Sanal Dilaka. Excellent work from the former Isipatana
You can't charge.
skipper.
You can't.
Not using his arms. Malisha Madhumevan there. We'll have a look at that again. You can counter ruck, but you've got to bind on the player.
It's Malish on that occasion, just flew into that ruck.
Number 11.
Seems to have caused some damage to a couple of police players in the process as well. As we'll have a look at that try once again. Lahir has control of that ball, and I think he's just grounded, so seem to have control as well. So referee Gunaratna right on the mark to make that call.
Get back. Make gun area. Make gun.
Hiroshan Silva seemed to be in a spot of bother there because the ball from Shan Akila was an unforgiving one. Needed to reach up to collect it as well, and then got smashed by the Havelock defender. He certainly won't be buying Shan Akila a drink this evening.
Charge कराने back.
Hopefully he is fit, one of the key players for Police, as we see a replacement being made, and Udaya Sanjula coming on. Don't forget to subscribe to watch live sports. Watch all your favorite games exclusively on Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, thepapare.com/live. So the subscription will be in play. So don't forget to subscribe to your favorite sports channel. Watch all these games exclusively. Primesh Danushka to Udara Surya Perma. Chandimal. Sachit Silva throws it over the top. And that looked like it might have been high on Shan Akila by Mithun Hapugoda. Shan Akila now to Mohan Vimalaratne. Ball knocks forward, so the referee will come back, and Mithun Hapugoda will be called in for a bit of a lecture.
It's a good cover tackle, good presence in terms of cover defense, but the execution was again really reckless. Hapugoda need to go a bit lower. Lazy attempt at the tackle once he got there. Just giving Police with another great attacking opportunity, just about 8 meters away from the try line. So we have a look at that once again. Just a lazy attempt by Hapugoda. Was in no position to make a tackle, a legal tackle at least.
Certainly there was contact with the head and neck area of Shan Akila, so he's lucky that it was just a penalty, is Mithun Hapugoda. Police still trundling towards the line. They look confident. Dhanushka Eduru Surya is a difficult man to bring down. They eventually do. Inches away from the line. Udara Surya Perma calling for the ball, and he will now send it out to Janit Chandimal, who spots a gap, only for it to be closed by Senal Dilaka very quickly. Primesh Dhanushka now to Vunivosa. Vunivosa with the long ball over the top, and they've got to score here surely. And Suranga Kasun will touch down. And that's the try that may just win Police this match.
Number 34.
15 minutes to go, and Suranga Kasun is the man who goes over again. Good vision from Vunivosa to throw that ball over the top, and I thought Kasun should have given it outside, but instead he was confident enough.
Yeah, that's right. Just that extra man out wide showing up Havelocks on that occasion. The defense around the fringes was very good. Vunivosa just making that little dart, drawing a couple of defenders towards him. And when you are down an extra man as well, there's a ample room out wide. And with that try, it's just made Havelock's chances of getting back into this game just so much more harder. Again, the presence of Vunivosa, isn't it, Shanaka, just managed to attract a couple of defenders towards him and just managed to hold that defensive line of Havelocks, not allowing them to drift across. And enabling Police to further extend their lead.
What sets him apart from some other foreign players that we have seen in these parts, Abdullah, is his intelligence, isn't it? He's always keen on bringing other players into the game, finding space, using his distribution skills rather than just his physical ability. We saw him do that, of course, for Yohan Pyrrhus' try. He just smashed defenders out of his path. But that's not the only thing he's got to his game, as Janit Chandimal converts from another acute angle and has given Police 4 more points than they might have otherwise had with 2 touchline conversions, and 34 points now to 21, with Havelock's mountain getting higher and higher.
Yes, and the thing, when you have a player like that with such dominance and who is willing to bring other players into the game, it makes it much more enjoyable for the players around him, because they too feel that they're part of it and it's not a one-man show. And you just sense that Vunivosa's presence in today's game has definitely galvanized this Police outfit.
Yes, the neutral fans will be very happy that he's managed to stay fit for the entire game. 1 more score, and if I was Asanka Rodrigo, I'd be looking to get him off. Just preserve that knee for the games coming up. Got a crucial one against CRNFC as well. If they manage to put this game to bed, that'll put them in 2nd position if they manage to beat CR. Santosh Algaon with another long raking kick, but it may have gone just a little bit too far. Sean Akela will be quite happy to buy time and just dot this one down. So Police now in no rush. 34 points, plays 21 with just over 10 minutes left. Janit Chandimal has been an asset since he came onto the field. Yohan Pyrrhus with a good boot and scored a try as well. But it would have probably been a tactic that they wanted to execute before the game to bring Yohan Pyrrhus off at half-time. Here's Mithun Hapugoda looking for something to happen in broken field. Nothing seems to be happening though. Stikshana Dasanayaka punches this forward. Eventually, Dhanushka Eduru Surya gets him at the 2nd crack. Ganidul Lakshan. And in Valisara, Kandy are leading Army 31 points to 19. Certainly not a thrashing. Army still very much in this game. Remember, they managed to score an outstanding win against Kandy up in Nittavala not so long ago, so they will be drawing on memories of that. But at the moment, the league champs, the defending champs and league favourites are 12 points in front. Police Park, it's 13 points though. And Havelocks are looking to try and bridge that gap as much as they can. Malisha Madhumevan trying to find a little bit of a gap, but it closes quickly. Vagisha Veerasinghe Here's some space. Beautiful work again from Veerasinghe. Stepping inside is Sachit Silva. Good stuff end in and gets the offload away. It goes backwards. Lahiru Pavitra with a brilliant bit of skill. Manchester United will be after him next. And the penalty goes to the defending side, and a promising passage of play from Police comes to an end.
Yes, some good work by Shenal Dilaka. Got back there in time and just managed to identify the correct moment to get his hands on the ball. Some nifty footwork by Lahiru Pavitra, but maybe if he had just let that ball go, it would have gone into Vunisova's hand. And who knows what would have happened from then onwards. But again, Havelock's just guilty of turning possession over. And Police looked very dangerous from that counter-attack. As we have a look at that once again, Lahiru Pavitra going down, and some brilliant work by Shenal Dilaka, just identifying the correct moment to get his hands around that ball and save his team from what in all probability would have been another score.
Mali එහෙම නම් ගන්න. මලේ. අමාරු නේද? You can play.
Faiz Abdullah looking at a bit of strife. Looks like he might have had a shoulder problem.
Yes, well, we are approaching the final 10 minutes, so it's always very tough for a front row forward in these conditions to play a full 80-minute game. Seems to be taking its toll on the young lad.
It's not the first time he's done it, has it been, Abdullah? I think Coach Martis is shorn of a few replacements here. So he's asked Abdullah Faiz to really make sure he plays 80 minutes in pretty much every game he's started. So that's difficult for him. He's a young lad, so he'll last, but
Time on now.
it's really not easy. Dara Surya Perimal seems to have got a blow to the head, and he will be replaced as well. And Sandesh Jaivikrama just gets his team out of trouble. This was where the counter-attack began. Primesh Danushka. And superb work again from Vagisha Veerasinghe just to straighten the line. It's a good fend by Sachit Silva, and the tackle from Keshan Kavinda was just in the nick of time to make sure that offload wasn't accurate. Shenal Dilaka went in perhaps a second early, but it didn't matter. This ball is overthrown now. Mithun Hapagoda will try to goose step his way through. Sandesh Jahavikrama is the support runner he finds, and now Shenal Dilaka again. Lazy running by Lahiru Pavitra, and the referee will have no option but to blow.
Number 1. Offside number 1.
Number 1 offside is the call. And again,
Number
Pavitra
1.
is probably lucky that he doesn't get more than a penalty for that. Clearly obstructed a flowing move.
Yes, well identified by the assistant referee. Really got to come hard on those lazy runners because it definitely impacts the flow of the game. So have a look at that once again. Lahiru Pavitra. Dare I say he knew exactly what he was doing?
I think so. Abdullah is a wily old customer, Lahiru Pavitra. Former Royalist. Now making sure he talks to his forwards. And here's the march
Get back.
that we've become so familiar
Get
with
back.
this Havelock's outfit.
Get back. Back.
Asmir Fajuddin,
Get back.
Vagisha Veerasinghe instructed to get back. Fajuddin still holding on as the maul eventually collapses, but the referee says it was collapsed illegally.
Mark.
So plenty more to play in this game, just over 5 minutes time, but that's more than enough. It's just a 13-point gap, and 14 points will win it.
Next time, penalize him. Right? Small collapse. Right?
Yes, so the referee having a word with the police aid, telling them that they're on their final warning. Next time it's collapsed, they could find a player in the bin. Very well executed driving maul. Some good body position, but police just not getting behind enough numbers behind to contain that drive legally.
Fajuddin finds Madhumevan at the front. They set up the maul quickly again. Here's Fajuddin, who has it at the back, looking for a little bit of a space to dive his way over the line. Police do well to bring it down legally this time. Lahir was waiting for the switch from Mithun Hapugoda, but police were alive to it. Physical stuff. Sandesh Chavikram with a little tap back. Dinushan Tishan Dasanayaka is caught by
Number 1.
Vunivosa.
Out.
And Lahiru Pavitra is the man who's deemed to have brought that maul down. So he goes to the bin for 2 successive infringements. Lahir now off the quick
All the
tap.
way blue. Hands up.
Abdullah Faiz
Hands up.
looking to
Blue.
get dragged
Hands
over
up,
the
blue.
line with Janindu Fernando. Dilanka Pereira, who's on the park, and Mithun Hapagoda swiveling over the line, just dragged back by police. Excellent defense from Primesh Danushka, and Lahir gets his triple.
Try
That's
score,
a
try
hat-trick
score.
for Shaukat Lahir. It's 28 points, or it will be 28 points if the kick goes over. It's a simple kick, so it should, and we'll have everything to play for in the last few minutes of this game.
Yes, Shanak, and it'll be 14 players each, isn't it? Police down to 14 players, and that'll wait, it'll stand till the end of the game. But again, Shaukat Lahir from such close quarters, Shanak, virtually unstoppable. Wonderful body position, wonderful strength. And Algama slots the conversion over, so it's 34-28. 5 minutes to go and everything to play for.
A goal will win this for Havelocks. They've stayed in it. They've been out of it, but they've clawed their way back stubbornly and tenaciously. And Sandesh Jayavikrama has given his team the opportunity to score one more goal and win this game coming back from the brink. And Navin Henakankanamge, who's sitting in the dressing room watching this, will be the most relieved man among these squads of 24 players.
So as we have a look at that replay once again, we'll get back to that replay. Ball is kicked off. It's passed to Hapugoda, who will try and use his footwork. Get over. Randy Silva. Keshan Kavinda takes it into
Hands
contact.
up, hands up.
Ball is carried forward. Good face play by Havelocks.
Dilanka Pereira, now they know that there's everything to play for now. Havies will have their tails up, and police will desperately need to keep their defense working. Havelocks replacements have really made a difference in this game since they came on. Dilanka Pereira full of enthusiasm carrying the ball. Fajuddin, little isolated, but doesn't matter that time.
Last boot.
Dinushan Aryapala.
Back, back.
We'll also have to talk about a man of the match, Abdullah. I think Senal Dilaka has been outstanding today. Might end up on the losing side perhaps, but he has been very good. Vunivosa has been excellent as well as Malisha Madhumevan goes away.
Back,
And
back,
police
back.
fall back. And that's a penalty.
Number 26.
And Havelocks will have another opportunity now to knock this ball into the corner and try to score off the driving maul. Randy Silva, though, has other ideas as he keeps going into the 22. Tikshana Dasanayaka goes laterally. Here's some space, and Aldilaka shows and goes. Gets into the 22, and now they're looking for it.
Two penalties here. One here, one there. Here.
Azmir Fajuddin asks for the penalty. I think whatever happens today, Abdullah, these two men on your screen, both Vagisha Veerasinghe and Senal Dialaka, both the two former Isipatani and back rowers, have been outstanding today. Very difficult to pick between them. Primesh Tanushka has been good also for Police. And that's a difficult kick from Santosh Algama. So much distance to get to, and to make sure he gets it out in exactly the right spot. Well executed from the young fullback today. And Azmir Fajuddin now desperately needs to find the right jumper.
That's right. What a crucial throw this is going to be if Havelocks can get some clean ball, which they've done through Malaysia. But looks like they'll have to go through that again. As you said, Shanaka, the impact of the bench from Havelocks has been great. Malaysia, Hapugoda, Dilanka Pyrrhus, as they come on, they've definitely had an impact.
Fajuddin. And there's a penalty, I think.
Both sit in here. Both. You and not 10 meter, not 10 meter. You are not 10 meter.
Not 10 meters is the call from the referee.
You are
They
not 10 meter.
had two receivers. And that's pretty much the game gone
Penalty. Get
for
back.
Havelocks.
Get back.
Janit Chandimal would love to be able to kick this one out and call time.
What a mistake to make, Shanak, at this crucial stage. Those are the game-changing errors. 5 meters out. Havelocks with the opportunity to score a try and with the conversion, chance to win the game. But you can see Fajuddin protesting, but it's not with regard to any of the forwards, I believe. I guess it was one of the three quarters who had not retired 10 meters.
I think there were two receivers there, Abdullah. If you can go back to that lineout, we'll be able to show you what referee Gunaratna is talking about. But a replacement coming on for Police. It's Adish Handun Patirana, who's throwing in, the former
Get back, number one. Pink number one, back.
Tomian front rower. Primesh Tanushka, who's had an excellent game today. Here's Vunivosa, gets around the first man. Hiroshan Silva, it's not a great pass to Suranga Kasun, but it do something with it anyway. Sachit Silva does well to keep the ball in hand. Vagisha Veerasinghe, like the good flanker, he's there with the ball.
Hands up.
Sandesh Chayavikrama, the ball was out, or so he thinks.
Stop.
And there was a knock on. But that's the end of the game, and Police win a thriller here at Police Park. Our man of the match, perhaps on the balance, Primesh Danushka or Vagisha Veerasinghe Abdullah. Going to leave that to you.
Yes, I guess Vagisha had a greater impact out wide, not just at close quarters as well, Shanaka. So I'd probably go with Vagisha. His ability to draw and pass out wide added to his work rate at the breakdown as well. So probably my man of the match today is Vagisha Veerasinghe.
Take nothing away also from Senal Dialaka in a losing cause. Played absolutely brilliantly in defense especially. But Havelocks, to think that they lost a man in the 30th minute and played for 50 minutes with 14 men. I think Police made it a little easier by going down to 14 men for 20 of those minutes themselves. But the loss of Navin Henekan Kanamge didn't upset them too much. And it was a brilliant performance from Havelocks to come back, stay in that game and keep trying to knock that door of victory down. But Police did just enough and have done the double on Havelocks this season, and will be looking to do the same to CRNFC when they meet them eventually and try and claim second spot in this Dialog Rugby League. What a brilliant game of rugby we witnessed today.
Yes, it had its ebbs and flows. The lead swung both ways, but eventually Police just prevailing. But also a word of commendation to this young Havelocks outfit. They never gave up. They threw everything at it. Young Shaukat Lahir, 3 tries, had an outstanding game as well. A real bright prospect for Sri Lanka rugby in the future. And I think the Havelocks team, although they ended up on the losing side, I think they can take a lot of heart from their never say die attitude in this game. So that's the final scoreline, 34 points to 28. 5 tries to Police, to the 3 tries from Havelocks, and also young Santosh Algama had a very good game with the boot as well, that kept Havelocks within touching distance.
Yes, they certainly did, especially in that first half. That lead that they took into the first half break was entirely due to Santosh Algama's 9 points. In fact, 11 points with the conversion. But it wasn't enough, as eventually the tide turned, and this was the try perhaps that gave Police the confidence that they could win this. Rasit Silva, after he went off, Police were a little bit more subdued. Lovely front peel from Vagisha. And here's Primesh Danushka went off for a brilliant try and engineered some counter-attacks as well. He had an outstanding game. And Shaukat Lahir just managing to dot that ball down. Referee on the spot. And Vunivosa with a lovely ball over the top. Suranga Kasun had one man to beat and one man to help him. Chose to go on his own and eventually did score. And this was crucial in the end. Abdullah just squeezing that in through the left post from Janit Chandimal, who kicked over 2 very important conversions when he came on.
Yes, right. And again, Lahir, tremendous strength to score his 3rd try. At that moment, Havelocks definitely were in with a chance. But they did have an opportunity, but unfortunately were penalized for one of the backs not retreating 10 meters. And with that, the game ended. So, it's 34 points to 28. That's how the final scoreline stands. But overall, it has been an extremely entertaining game of rugby.
Certainly was, and what an outstanding effort it was by the policemen. As we look back at the setting sun, these are the key stats from the game. 5 tries to 3, so Police get their bonus point as well. Havelocks don't get their bonus point, which could be crucial in the final equation also. 3 conversions to 2, and 1 penalty for Police, and 3 penalties for Havelocks from the boot of Algama. Vagisha Veerasinghe, our man of the match, taking it by a hair's breadth from Senal Dilaka, who fought valiantly in a losing cause. And the 2 Isipathanians went head to head in the back rows for both their teams, and I thought Vagisha was absolutely outstanding in the work rate that he brings to this Police back row. They're missing the experience of Shanaka Harishchandra. They had to do without the experience of Surya Peruma towards the end of that game as well, and Police just managed to hold out nevertheless. Upcoming, we have Navy taking on CH tomorrow, and that will be at Valisara. So Navy will be the favourites for that game. CH and FC haven't really done as much as they thought we'd see from them at the early part of the season. Lots of names in the roster, but they have flattered to deceive us. And Navy, with that thumping win over this very same Police outfit last week, will be very happy that they're taking on CH. Next week's fixtures, Police taking on Air Force. They'll be looking to rest a few players for that, I'm sure. Havelocks will take on CH and FC. Navy take on Kandy. That should be an interesting match at Valisara as well. And Army take on Sierra FC. That's also at Valisara on the 15th of February. That's on Saturday. So that can't be right, because we've got 2 games in Valisara on Saturday. So either the venue or the date will change. We'll bring you the correct details, of course, throughout the week. Keep locked on to our segments as we bring you all the roundups and news from this Dialog Rugby League. So lots going on and lots to play for. Second place is what everyone's playing for at the moment, and of course to beat Kandy Sports Club. If Police, Havelocks or CRNFC play like they have this last week, Kandy will be looking over their shoulder just a little bit. So from Police Park, that brings us to an end of the proceedings. Thank you very much for joining us on Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, ThePapare.com. From Abdullah Yusuf, myself and the rest of the Papare production team, it's good night for now.
සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
සර් සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with the heart.
Unanimous decision. You are record.
We need to have a talk.
Young Sheldon returns January 10th on Warner TV.
This is my favorite part. Suit up.
Arrow returns in Crisis on Infinite Earths, January 15th on Warner TV.
Leaving so soon?
Supergirl returns January 20th on Warner TV.
Here's where the fun begins.
The Flash returns February 5th
I'll see you when you get back.
on Warner TV.
I want everything and more from my mobile. Unlimited talk time, text and endless data. When I travel, it's one simple plan for unlimited roaming, even on a flight. I also get the best smartphone deals, phone upgrades and expert personal service. While Club Vision privileges pamper me with the best of times. Sign up to a Dialog Power plan today. Enjoy everything I have and more.
Dialog Postpaid. Power to you.
I want everything and more from my mobile. Unlimited talk time, text and endless data. When I travel, it's one simple plan for unlimited roaming, even on a flight. I also get the best smartphone deals, phone upgrades and expert personal service. While Club Vision privileges pamper me with the best of times. Sign up to a Dialog Power plan today. Enjoy everything I have and more.
Dialog Postpaid. Power to you.
Get set to witness the first-time champions, 7-time champion and the 23-time Grand Slam champion. Witness all the sets and a few setbacks. Witness this and witness that. And definitely not that. Witness the one in this generation and the ones in the next. Witness the crowd pleases, the crowd teases, the drop shots, hot shots and the big shots. Witness the Australian Open and witness the greatness unfold. Only on Sony 10-2 and Sony 6.
මගේ කනෙක්ෂන් එක මගේ ලයිෆ් එකට ජවයක් දෙන බලයක්. Unlimited calls, SMS විතරක් නෙවෙයි, ඇති තරම් ඩේටාත් මට තියෙනවා. පිටරටදි වගේම ෆ්ලයිට් එකේ ඉද්දිත් unlimited roaming activate කරන්න හරි සිම්පල්. latestම ස්මාර්ට්ෆෝන් වලට ලංකාවේ හොඳම offers වගේම විශේෂඥ සේවාවකුත් මට ලැබෙනවා. Dialog Club Vision වෙතින් දෙන මේ සුවිශේෂ දීමනා නිසා මගේ ලයිෆ් එක විනෝදයෙන් පිරීලා. එන්න ඔබත් මේ හැමදේම අත්විඳින්න. Dialog Power Plan සම්බන්ධතාවයක් අදම ලබා ගන්න. Dialog Postpaid බලය ඔබට.
අලු සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
සර් සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with the heart. මගේ කනෙක්ෂන් එක මගේ ලයිෆ් එකට ජවයක් දෙන බලයක්. Unlimited calls, SMS විතරක් නෙවෙයි, ඇති තරම් ඩේටාත් මට තියෙනවා. පිටරටදි වගේම ෆ්ලයිට් එකේ ඉද්දිත් unlimited roaming activate කරන්න හරි සිම්පල්. latestම ස්මාර්ට්ෆෝන් වලට ලංකාවේ හොඳම offers වගේම විශේෂඥ සේවාවකුත් මට ලැබෙනවා. Dialog Club Vision වෙතින් දෙන මේ සුවිශේෂ දීමනා නිසා මගේ ලයිෆ් එක විනෝදයෙන් පිරීලා. එන්න ඔබත් මේ හැමදේම අත්විඳින්න. Dialog Power Plan සම්බන්ධතාවයක් අදම ලබා ගන්න.
Dialog Postpaid බලය ඔබට.
When I travel abroad, it's one simple plan for unlimited roaming, even when I am on a flight. Sign up to a Dialog Power Plan today. Enjoy everything I have and more.
Dialog Postpaid. Power to you.
Welcome to God of War.
I want to show you some quality gameplay.
You have one chance to beat it. What? It's intense, man. It's had a rough day.
Wow, we're in the middle of the map.
Mission successful.
අලු සීටිකක් දැම්මන නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
සර් සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
Ceylon personal loan? කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with the heart.